Chapter 7, Dante's Prophetic Mission. The First Investiture, Beatrice. A solemn investiture resounds 3 times in the comedy to Dante to motivate him to write and say what he has seen and heard. The first, at the end of Purgatory, is entrusted to Beatrice. To prophet that world which lives badly, watch the chariot steadfastly, and what you see transcribe when you have returned beyond. Purgatory 32, 103 to 105. Dante explicitly assumes here the function of a prophet, the Bosco Reggio edition comments. Etymologically, a prophet is one who speaks before the people, for the public, and his is a word of denunciation and truth. Dante speaks to prophet that world which lives badly, because like all true prophets, he has at heart not his own salvation, but the fate of man, the future of humanity. The prophets are those who, having discovered the ancient, straight and long path that penetrates to the heart of man and guides them to freedom, have then felt the need that is within them like a command from on high, an ineffable calling, to show it to, page 260, others, to teach it to others. And the way that leads to freedom, as the ancient and sacred Indian writings say, but Dante too, it is the way that leads to happiness. The purpose for which he has written is, declaredly, that of taking people away from a miserable state in this life and guiding them to a state of happiness. In this first investiture, Dante is exhorted to write what he has seen watching the carriage steadfastly, and to describe it so well that we seem to see it. The carriage that represents the church undergoes a gradual transformation, an always more serious deterioration, as it finally becomes the apocalyptic beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns. The investiture is then repeated by Beatrice in the next canto. Take note, and even as I speak these words, do you transmit them in your turn to those who lived a life that is a race towards death. Purgatory 33, 52 to 54. The 3rd verse is very beautiful, but it is not only a valuable aphorism to say that our lives flow inexorably towards death, as is generally understood, and sometimes misunderstood if one comes to write that, of this lovely verse, one cannot see the reason from the context. Dante continually speaks of 2 lives. The first is mortal, short, that is blind, unknowing. It is that which we normally call life. There is another, who, like Brunetto Latini, nostalgically calls serene and beautiful, and at the end of his speech recommends his treasure to Dante, his principal work, in which I live still, and I ask no more. I don't ask anything more. I'm convinced that this is precisely why he is in hell, not for punishment of some sin, that is only the literal sense, the beautiful lie. Hell is a particular way of life, having only worldly values as your field of vision. However noble the fame is for a literary work, not daring to ask for more, closing the mind and heart to possibility, or even just to hope of another life. The second is the other, that true, eternal, whole, perfect, that 3 times is called sweet life. It is earthly too. It is not a prize, page 261, after death, not a life to be enjoyed in the life beyond. It is a life that Dante arrives at while he is alive, and to which one needs to arrive at while one is living. For this reason, it is important to speak to those living ones who are living a life that is only a race towards death, to help them find a life before death. There is reason in the context.